Everything is energy. The illuminated Cabal view everything as energy and the way energy flows. This must be thoroughly understood. This is the Kabbalistic manipulation of energy. Christian churches were constructed on ley lines. Areas on Earth that have increased geomagnetic energy in order to increase the energy for their program, to sharpen our thoughts for stronger electrical output, and to affect the environment. If a knowledgeable person uses earth energy and thought energy, it amplifies the energy behind the thoughts through will. Christian churches were constructed to replace the pagan temples that were destroyed. Special rituals were performed at these energy crossings in the earth. Humans and animals were sacrificed to instill extreme fear in the victims. The fear energy that they used for control was pumped into these vortexes of earth energies. This energy is magnified thousands of times and causes vibrations within the earth field, encircling the earth like a spider web. This is the very reason why Christianity has a huge influence on a lot of people. Sports arenas are also built on these energy lines to harness the energies. The highest levels of the Cabal have also built some of their castles on these lines. Control and manipulating reality through the most powerful manipulation tool of all, our sexuality. Society is now facing two problems: sexual suppression and hypersexuality. As discussed in Disclosure 5, a sex-mad man or woman is no different from an alcoholic or drug addict. Both have lost the facility over their mind and will eventually destroy their vital organs. The Cabal-run media and the Cabal-run pornographic industry are over-sexualizing men, women, and especially young children to turn them into sex zombies, to destroy their creativity, when overindulgence becomes an uncontrollable addiction. The master will know how to convert sexual energy into creational energy. A balance must be obtained, and the use of sexual energies mastered. Sexual orgasm is the doorway to the power and advancement of the soul. It is the creative life force that liberates the Kundalini and is a direct threat to their agenda for enslaving humanity. By suppressing the second chakra, which is the sexual chakra, which keeps the Kundalini serpent bound in the base. In order for the Kundalini energy to ascend, and ascend safely, all of the chakras must be free and open. Because of the cutoff, there is no outlet, and humanity degenerates spiritually from generation to generation. Through the centuries, religious doctrines have always worked relentlessly to suppress it and drum it into its victims' minds that they are nothing more than property. Their minds, souls, and bodies all belong to their false gods, which in reality are the top ruling Cabal, who are masters of occult power. For centuries, the Church has denied and kept this knowledge from the people. We are talking about high-ranking officials not your typical average priest or minister who have been indoctrinated into ignorance and blind obedience. Suppressing the powerful sex drive in these institutions, which is the life force itself, results in child molestation and rape. As part of the plan, it is important for the enemy to destroy this feminine energy, because once this feminine energy is completely passive, the intuition and higher consciousness are switched off and become dominated by the lower consciousness. The chakra below the heart is the switch-off point that disconnects all the 7 chakras. This could lead to a serious imbalance, which the Church and its supporters are fully aware of. A lot of people, including 2 billion Catholics, might not be aware of a page on Wikipedia entitled VatiLeaks. These are very interesting documents, much more interesting than anything released by Mr. Assange's group. Leading up to the 2009 investigation into the global pedophile ring led by the Legionnaires of Christ, the Vatican has paid vast payouts in various court settlements. Just in the United States alone, sexual abuse by Roman Catholic priests has cost the U.S. branch of the Vatican more than $1.5 billion since the 1950s. The United States religious establishment as a whole is valued at $102 billion. Confessions of Sins. The Confession of Sins was set up by the Church to extract information on mainly important people in a society or group. They now know exclusive private secrets about them, which they could later use to hold against or bribe them in the future. The Jesuit religious order in the Catholic Church was roughly equivalent to the KGB in the Soviet Union. Their goal is the destruction of the Protestant Reformation, leading to a return of one black pope sitting in judgment on all mankind. Bloodline families. We also need to recognize these bloodline families who are controlling the human race, such as the Habsburgs, House of Lorraine, de Medici, Lee, Astor, Onassis, Kennedy, Russell, Thurmond, Taxis, DuPont, and the Van Duns. Also, some extremely powerful families affiliated with the major top 13 families include Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Bundy, Disney, Collins, Freeman, Reynolds, Krupp, McDonald's, the Harrimans, Tafts, Lords, Kellogg's, Goodyear, Whitney, Vanderbilt, Sloan's, Perkins, and the Bushes. All these families are mainly agents to the real power families who remain hidden. There is a lot of confusion concerning Freemasonry, the New World Order, the United States. The reason for the confusion is because of infiltration. The original Freemasons were mainly responsible for establishing the United States of America, designing Washington, D.C., and many other U.S. cities where the architecture is specially designed and geographically arranged for a future goal, using occult knowledge, had a completely different idea of a new world order. This new world order that our founding fathers, whom were almost all respectable Freemasons, had in mind, was based upon true Luciferian principles. Remember, they corrupted and turned everything upside down and inside out. The goals of our forefathers, NWO, were to establish a free country where citizens could escape the severe repression of Christianity and learn the ancient secrets of the past for themselves without any fear of losing their lives. The United States was to be the new Atlantis and was meant to set a precedent for other nations of the world to follow in regards to spiritual knowledge, and to establish a free nation where each individual could become the best he or she could be. The other goals of this New World Order can be found in the original doctrines of the United States. Now, what's going on today with the present-day NWO is another story. In the U.S., it seems that George Washington was intelligent enough to recognize that this Illuminati sect, the coven hell-bent on chaos and creating a new world order which had been funded by the Duke of Coburg's family and friends, was not to the liking of George Washington. George Washington was also a Freemason. He attained his third and final degree at Fredericksburg Lodge, Virginia in 1753. The Cabal infiltrate every source of power they can. From the inside, they either gain total control or they seek to rot it out and destroy it through corruption. The NWO is a world slave state headed and run by these corrupt oligarchs. This NWO is the exact opposite of what was intended by the original Freemasons. Let's clear the air on these so-called Illuminati. Illuminati is basically a name given to anyone illuminated with occult knowledge. There are over 800 secret societies worldwide. The most publicized, and for good reason, was the Illuminati. The Sabbatian Frankists, also referred to as the cult of the all-seeing eye, are political and religious chameleons. They are everywhere, where there is power. They are the good guys and the bad guys. The Rothschilds' goal is to control the wealth of the planet, and the Frankist vision is the destruction of Jewish ethics, to be replaced by a religion based on the exact opposite of their so-called God's intentions. According to Canadian-born author and mystic Manly P. Hall, Rothschild had hired a son of a rabbi named Adam Weishaupt to create a pseudo-Masonic-looking front, the Illuminati, and then armed him with massive funds and contacts. The stage was now set. History records that on May 1st, 1776, Dr. Adam Weishaupt founded the Bavarian Order of the Illuminati. He later became a high-ranking member of the Order of the Jesuits, whom he subsequently left to form his very own organization at the clear behest of the newly formed House of Rothschild. It was the Weishaupt's belief that only a chosen few could qualify for enough illumination to guide and rule the world. The problem was, where could he find enough intellectual light-bearers to start the ball rolling? He subsequently found them in various lodges and orders of the day, such as the various Masonic lodges, the Rosicrucian Order, and other legitimate and sincere orders of antiquity. This is confirmed yet again by Edith Starr Miller in her classic Occult Theocracy. As the organization of the Illuminati developed, so did its ambitions, which ended in a plot to subvert Freemasonry to its aim of world domination by any and all means. After obtaining control of certain Masonic lodges, Weishaupt and his associates recklessly vaunted their growing power. Weishaupt's vision for a future world was a full-on communism with all possessions, even children, held in common. It is more interesting to learn that Karl Marx, whose real name was Rabbi Mordecai Levi, was not the real founder of the communism world revolution. Its true father was Adam Weishaupt, founder of the Order of the Illuminati. It was not long afterwards that the Illuminati membership included an abundance of oligarch banking families, including the Rothschilds, the Oppenheimers, the Wertheimers, the Schusters, the Speyers and Sterns. The first order of business for the Illuminati initiates was to manifest their prophesied Zion. Plans were set in motion for them to finally have their land of milk and honey. The opportunity for manifesting their Zion arrived with the Russian Revolution, which was financed by these oligarch bankers. The Bolshevik leader of the revolution, Lenin, contributed his plan for a centralized government that would be controlled by this oligarchy. After Lenin and his Illuminati cohorts raised their flags at the end of the Russian Revolution, their new communist government emerged with these oligarchs occupying at least 75% of its highest positions. 60 million Christians were murdered, many of them murdered in an organized system of camps run by these oligarchs.